Mick Sorby, my favourite monkey hanger. How's life treating you? Haven't seen you for a while.
Okay, Jimmy, it really is. I'm really happy.
You look like you've lost a bit of weight.
Yeah, well, I have 2 stone I've lost.
Have you?
Yeah, skinny Mick, the colours in that, hold on.
Yeah. How's thing with the cancer and that? And
it's keeping, the oil I'm using is keeping it at bay. It's controlling it for me. It really is. It went down to, the blood count went down to 0.2. I think it's gone to 0.6 now, but people who don't know they have cancer in the body could have a higher level than that. Do you know what I mean? That oil's really doing me good.
I know you're aware you have bad days and good days, don't you?
Yeah. Over Christmas I had a week in bed. I just couldn't bother to get out of bed. I think I was just drained with it. But other than that, I've been all right. Yeah.
So we've got this Hartlepool Born and Bred 2, which should have been out. Trying to think, before Christmas, and then it's probably January. But it's definitely, we're going to get the cover design done this week, Gavin Parker. You read it, you're happy with it. It's very different to the first book, because the first book was just predominantly your book. Yeah,
this one is going to be a lot better than that, I think, because it's about the
tales from the estates.
Yeah. The funny thing is something I like to is
humour stories. Yeah. Hartlepool people don't take themselves too serious.
Nah, no point, is it?
The history behind the monkey hanger. Yeah. I mean, do you know what I found out when I done this book? Is Robert the Bruce used to own Hartlepool.
Yeah, that's why we used to have the pub called the Bruce Arms. We called it the Bruce Arms. It was the Bruce Arms. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, listen, there's some stories about, I can't confirm nor deny, but there's some stories around the grapevine that you are fanatical about Love Island.
I've never watched the bastard thing.
But do you know what? Listen, I'm not judging you, but there's a story this week which you just told me, and it's a true story. You were hospitalised by a 3-year-old.
Well,
do you want to tell us what happened? Right.
Teddy's got this toy hammer.
So who's Teddy?
My great grandparent.
Right. 3-year-old.
3-year-old. I was carrying on with it. Hit us in the ear with the hammer, and I had to go to the doctors.
So
well, you heard, they just phoned me there while you heard, didn't they?
So the big Mr. Hartlepool Mick Sorby is being hospitalised by a toddler.
Being bashed by a 3-year-old. Put right in my place.
Yeah, I'll have to put that in the next book. What are you in for? Oh, my grandparent bashed me up with an hammer.
I wouldn't have said that, would I? I said 3 letters, you wouldn't have.
But yeah, you know, the book's coming out. And you know, we've got a page, Hartlepool Born and Bred Book 2. Sorry, Hartlepool Born and Bred Books. So this is for YouTube. So if anyone wants to kind of follow the Hartlepool banter crack, you can give it a follow.
Yeah. And anybody in Hartlepool should get it, I think, because they'll know.
They'll probably be in it.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of people in Hartlepool, but they'll know there'll be family of people who's in it, and it is really funny. It is really, and you will enjoy it if you buy it.
Do you know? There's some characters, right? I mean, Lawrence, God rest him, who died a couple of. He was unbelievable. He was a one-off, and there's a chapter. Who was that lady? There's a big chapter in. She died a couple of years. Josie Jenkins. What a character she was.
She had a beautiful inside and out. She was.
Yeah. She epitomises Hartlepool for maybe being a little bit of a...
All the family are nice people as
Robin Hood, kind of stealing from the rich to give to the poor. And that's what she was about, wasn't she?
She'd give me penny in the purse. Yeah. She would have. Yeah.
You know, I would have loved... do you know what? I'd love to see some pictures of her.
She's got a daughter called Pauline, you know. She's a lovely girl as well. She really is.
But, you know, this book kind of covers the tales from the estates, the future for Hartlepool. I mean, Hartlepool has a massive, huge pugilistic history. Yeah. Boxing.
Yeah.
You know, it's always been, in my opinion, the hotbed of the northeast for boxing talent.
When I was a kid, I used to climb over the wall in the engineers. When I was a kid and watched the boxing. I watched Brian London fight there.
Yeah.
What else did I watch? Some good fighters there. It was really good. You just get a clip like the court is sneaking in.
Who was that bloke who clipped you on the ear you were abusing, and he was massive? Battle and Manners.
Yeah. He's a big fella, eh?
And there was another one. There was a lightweight British champion in his prime when he walked in. Maurice Cullen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, listen, people have to buy the book. There's a very, very funny story.
Yeah.
Wasn't that something about your first broken nose?
No, that was Teddy Gardner. Wasn't it?
Oh, was it Teddy Gardner, the European champion?
He had them in the house. Yeah, and I went in and I was in about 17, 18.
Yeah.
He said, how old are you, son? I said, old enough. Got myself dead brave because he was only little.
Yeah.
I thought, what's he going to fucking do with me?
European champion, wasn't he?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I got the shock of my fucking life when he did this. I didn't even see it. My fucking nose was like that.
Yeah. You've seen them all, Mick, haven't you? All the history, the characters. Hartlepool, I think Philly Tobin said it's home, probably the cheekiest bastards on the planet, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's one of them, Philly.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? In this book, a lot of the humour comes from Philly Tobin.
Yeah. Yeah, you did right there.
Yeah. When I read it, I know what parts of the book come from you, Algie, Philly Tobin. Algie's a character really well liked, isn't he?
Lad Philly is. He could chew a funeral look. He is honest.
Yeah.
He could. He'll have a funeral laughing.
Yeah.
He's good.
He's your biggest critic, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh,
he's I think how yous kind of interact with each other is, well, you fucking looking at your fat old puff and that's just him being nice to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah. Day dot, really, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's happening now? What's happening in the town of Hartlepool and now? Is anything happening?
Nothing that I know of. Nothing. Yeah, not really. It's just bits of shite going on with drug dealers, you know what I mean? But that's everywhere now.
Is it? What's the town like now in 2022? Is it still bad?
It's bad for everyone.
Is
really
it?
Bad, yeah. Yeah. Aye. But
sad, isn't it, really?
What can you do? I can't understand, Jamie, is why kids are going on it when they've seen what it does to people and they're still going on it. I cannot understand it.
I mean, do you know, in this book we cover a few of the kind of murders, deaths.
Yeah.
One particular one, probably the most infamous, was Rosie Palmer, God rest her.
Yeah. Very sad, that.
Yeah. But do you know what? Hartlepool's a place. It's a unique place. It's a one-off. And it's home to people. I mean, the foreword for this book was done by a famous guy called Kenny Layton.
Yeah, Kenny.
He was a
proper gentleman, that fella.
Yeah.
Proper gentleman.
He's seen the world. And do you know what he said? he spent time in millionaires. There was a place in Millionaire Mall. I think it was in Saudi or Dubai or something. And he said, you know what? Hartlepool's home. No matter where I go in the world and all the famous people I meet and all that. I mean, me and you were in his house, Mick, and there was pictures of every famous people from showbiz. He's met the lot. And he said, you know what? There's no place like Hartlepool in the world.
I had my son in the ship with us. I'm going back a few weeks. And Kenny does it. I think it's a Tuesday night he does it, for the lads, singing and playing his guitar. And my son said to him, they went out for a cigarette. And I was stealing because I don't smoke. And he said to Kenny, he said, do you know my dad, Mick? He said, yeah, I know him. He said, I know him years. He said, he said, you can't sing. So Kenny never said no. Come back on the mic and he said, hey, you fat fucker, you can't fight either.
Yeah. To be honest, when you're getting filled in by 3-year-olds and you're fanatical about Love Island,
that was my street credit.
That'll stay forever. In fact, your grandkids in years to come will be talking, oh, Grandad, Love Island.
Yeah, you got Ted growing up, you saying he wasn't that good.
But we're going to have a book signing, aren't we, in the ship?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
The ship's on the headlands, cracking little pub.
It's lovely, and the boss is a good fella, young Algie.
Young Algie.
Yeah.
So, it'll be an excuse to get together and sell a few books and just everyone have a drink.
Yeah, have a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to get more information. I'll definitely get the release date up on Amazon, certainly this month. So the front cover is with Gavin Parker now. And we've told him Jeff Stelling, monkeys, boxing, boats, that's the kind of design. Yeah. Gavin's a graphic designer, so he knows best. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it in his hands. And you know, I'm sure there'll be a Hartlepool book 3 and 4 down the line.
Well,
you know,
we're going up now for about 5.
Yeah, so you know, you know, there's never been any books in Hartlepool. There's been the Middlesbrough books, the Duffy books, all there's Viv Graham, and Hartlepool. Do you know the popularity of your town? 92,500.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what the recent poll is. So it's, you know, Middlesbrough's 149,000, I think. Hartlepool's a decent sized town. There's a lot of people in, and
it's a nice town, you know. Well, I wouldn't live nowhere else. No, at all. I wouldn't move.
If you won the lottery tomorrow,
I might go to the outskirts of Hartlepool. I wouldn't leave Hartlepool.
Yeah,
couldn't. No. A lot of people say it's a shit hole, but it's been good to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always had plenty of work there. I've never wanted to go.
And is that very much the other gruesome twosome, Algie and Philly? I think it's very much theirs, isn't it?
Both feel the same, yeah. It's because we're old and we don't know any different.
Have you ever had a time in Hartlepool where you think, you know what, I'm fucking sick of this place and I'm off? And has it ever been as bad as that?
No, I've never thought like that. No. I went down to London to work once to do a bit down there. I was doing a burn the door down there. I went and watched that Len McLean fight down there.
Did you really?
You should have. Yeah, I didn't know him.
What year was that?
Which
fight was it against?
I can't remember. I was only about...
You never told me that.
I was about 30, 34.
What year were you born?
49.
56, 66. So it was the late 70s.
Yeah. I went down then. I was writing the door, and these doormen, two of them, you, Lenny, I didn't. God, it's from here. And I got on talking to them. There was a bit of scuffling in the nightclub we worked, and they were watching me working, and they said, "Oh, do you want to come see the fight?" They ended up being my friends.
Do you know where it was at?
Yeah, through the Blackwall Town is a place called... I'll phone you later on and tell you where it was. I'll tell you about it.
Did he win?
Yes, he won, yeah. And he shook my hand, but I never seen him like that. But he never even said, hello, how you doing? Just, all right. And that was it, you know. Wasn't always his friend and out. Before people start saying, no, he didn't know him.
Yeah. Like some certain bullshit.
Yeah, but I didn't meet him. I didn't meet him ever the once.
Yeah. No, what was it? Do you know what, though? When I started research for these books, I was amazed at the amount of, like, famous, infamous, notorious people from Hartlepool. Yeah. And it's not just Jeff Stelling, you know. Do you know Hartlepool have had their own serial killer? Did you know that?
Who was that?
I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It was probably Philly Tobin's. It was about 100 years ago. Probably some relation to Philly. But great granddad.
He's real dad.
But you know, Wayne Sleep, loads of boxes.
Yeah, he comes from what?
MPs.
Yeah.
Do you know one of the judges? One of the judges on the Cray trial. Couldn't say it there. When they were acquitted in the 1965 Hugh McCowan case, the main one was from Hartlepool.
I didn't know that.
So do you know what?
Tommy Steele used to stay in Hartlepool, the singer.
Right. It's more than just a little place. And do you know what? Middlesbrough gets all the limelight. It's like a sister, if you like. They're probably 12 miles apart, but I think as the crow flies.
Yeah,
God, I can't talk today. Yeah, I think it's only about 7 miles. But Middlesbrough kind of gets all the limelight.
Yeah.
And Hartlepool, you know, listen, it's a northern town and they don't come any tougher. You know, for someone like you, Mick, who spent 50 years on the door, you know, violence was just... I mean, people have read your Facebook. It's all covered in the Facebook.
I was just a bit too slow to go and look for another job.
Yeah. You know, but it's a place, and do you know what?
That door job, Jimmy, I'd do it all over again. I loved it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Even all the shit and all
over again.
You ran over and the baseball bats and attempts on your life and people getting beaten up because they thought they were you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's twice that's happened.
Yeah. There must have been a good looking bloke though, wasn't it?
Well, I'd like to have said that, but I'm glad you said it.
But no, I mean the wife, you know, it was just normal to see you coming in with blood and...
sometimes Jim went in, she doesn't recognise me.
Yeah. I mean, our good mate, Richie Horsley, he said, you know what? He said, Mick Horsley, so fucking, what the fuck is wrong with me today? Mick Sorby has had more fights in one night than a certain Teesside bullshit has had in his life.
Yeah.
But you know, it's that you know, Richie put me in touch with you like a couple of years ago, and I'm glad you did. The book's been a great success.
I'm pleased you did, because you've done a hell of a job in the book, Jimmy.
You know, it's a lot of people have said to me, Mick, that's the best I've ever read.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Connor from Ireland.
Yeah.
He's read it twice, I think.
He's a nice lad, him.
He's a lovely lad, Connor. He's going to be coming over this year.
Is he?
So he's so what are you going to do? Are you going to this weekend? Are you going to come to the Paul Venice fight?
Yes, I think yes, I will. Yeah, yeah.
And I'll get Paul Suggett's. We're going to be coming over to talk to Alex Reid about the film.
Yeah.
So I'll get Paul to give you, because we're going to be doing a documentary in a couple of years about you. You know.
Yeah, you said you would. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. So, you know, it's. Do you know what with you, Mick?
You know this documentary, Jimmy? I'd rather do it before I got really bad and like I lost all my weight, because that's what's going to happen. I'm going to end up like a skeleton. So I'd rather do it before I went like that. I'd rather the kids see me on that how I am than. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know I mean, I've had this.
I don't mean this year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, do you know what we could
bad.
do it maybe this year. It's. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna. I said I've had this chat with Chiosi, and it's. I said, you know, it's gonna be hard because I've invested in you as a person. Yeah. But yeah, you know, it's a brave decision. Documentary. You know, listen, we're all.
I want to do it for my family. Just tell them what I think of them. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're gonna do, and I'm obviously. With me and you will sit with Paul Suggett at the weekend. When it's done,
just give me a couple of family and you can do what you want. Just play it on there, anything you want.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered.
But, I mean, I'll tell you what, talking about Hartlepool people, Paul Suggett, he's just been put for another nomination for his documentary.
Oh, nice one.
So he got one for when he was...
Sleeping rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Paul's a cracking lad. I said to him, and Paul, if you're watching this, he went out of living bins for 6 weeks, and I said, well, do you know what? He just put his best clothes on. But do you know what? He done a documentary about an ex-veteran who he found sleeping on Hartlepool beach. Have you seen it?
No,
I'll send you it tonight. So, you know, I mean, he's up. I mean, and obviously he's done the Lee Duffy documentary, which you were in.
Yeah.
So do you know what? He's going places, that guy.
Yeah.
He's working hard.
Somebody like you yourself, people work hard like that, they deserve it. You know what I mean? You get people sat in the arse and just begging for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Begging on YouTube for money.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit the like button. Fucking begging scrubs. Yeah. But do you know what, Mick? It's an absolute pleasure to work with you. And do you know what? I mean, listen, when I do all these people, you were the only person that, I mean, I think you had one or two, but the town of Hartlepool just had nothing but love for you.
Yeah.
And that was unusual. You know, Wakefield of Paul Sykes, Duffy with Middlesbrough, Dominic Negus, Essex, Roy Shaw with London. No, I done the Paddy Maloney books, one or two. I don't want to fucking...
He seems like a nice fellow, Paddy Maloney.
He's a cracking bloke. Yeah. I mean, there's one or two I'd fucking wish I'd left them under the rock, found them under, pardon the pun. But do you know what? Overall, you were accepted, and the town of Hartlepool just talk to you, Mick, and that's nothing to do with me. It's just people. You were always fair with them. 50 years on the door in Hartlepool. You've
got to be. You can't. If you can't be a bully for that long. Do you know what I mean? You end up with no work, wouldn't you? Yeah. Nobody would want to work for them.
Yeah. I mean, I know Davey Robson, who's doing his own podcast now quite well, and he said, Jamie, well, Mick, be all right with me? I said, yeah, fucking Mick's a diamond. He went, I was working with a ticket with him once, and he chucked me out. He said he ripped my best Ben Sherman shirt.
He said you throw me a new shirt.
But big shout out to Davey Robson.
He's a nice fella.
He is. Yeah. He's doing well. He's you know, one thing in this business, you've got to be prolific, and you know, it's like anything. You do one book a year, no one's going to give a shit. If you do podcasts every day, you know, and. You know, if you're in a public spotlight, you're there to be shot at.
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
I mean, have you had any bad stuff yourself, Mick? Cause
just two.
Two? Yeah. That's not bad. I get more than that a day. I'd like to think it's my hair.
Unless I've missed a few hundred, I don't know.
What was that like?
It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me. I've been called by better people than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm X said, he said, anything in life, show me a man who's got no haters and I'll show you a man who's got no success.
Yeah.
And you were in Whitby, weren't you? And someone come up with you.
Oh, yeah.
From Wakefield, was he?
Yeah. And I was just sat there with my son Michael, his wife.
Yeah.
I was wanting to rest because I would have breath with this cancer thing. I said, I'm going to sit here for a little bit. You just walk around. Because there was only one way, so I had to come back round and pick me up. So I'm sat there, and my son's wife was there, and this bloke was like bent down, going there, looking at me there. I thought, oh. And she said, I'm going, that bloke likes you. I said, well, it's up to him. She's probably not mine. Anyway, then he come over and he went, I know you. I thought, I don't know you with the Yorkshire accent. I thought, he's got me mixed up with somebody. And he went, Jamie Boyle.
Yeah. Do you know Paddy Maloney had that? Some bloke was staring at him. And Paddy's saying, he wants to fight with me. It was in Leeds.
That's what I thought, you know.
And then he come up and he went, I'm not being funny, but are you related to Jamie? Like, and that's how Paul Venice gets it now. So if you're watching Paul Venice, Paul's doing really well, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He deserves it.
He is. He's,
yeah.
Do you know what? There's people out there and they're not doing it correct, bullying people and that. But do you know what? Paul walks the walk, talks the talk. And he could be a bully. Yeah. But he doesn't want to.
It's not him to be a bully, is it? He's a gentleman.
It is in him. He could be a scary... But
yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I meant it's not him to be a bully. He's not...
Paul, do you know Paul? If he was the way certain people were, he wouldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
He's like got no more layers with him. I trust him.
Yeah.
Like I do with you and Richie Horsley and that, and it's do you know what makes certain people?
Jimmy, you go a long way to find a better pal than Richie. A long way.
Do you know, I've known of him for, when did the Duffy? 2001. But I got to know him about 2016. And he's very dry sense of humour. Yeah. Every time Celtic get beat, he's always texting me. And I really, he's texted me a few times and I thought, you can fuck right off. And,
with Richie,
yeah.
A lot of people, when he started fetching his boats up, they got a bit jealous.
Yeah.
That's what it was with him. Yeah.
But he's got a story as well, hasn't he? And he could really fight.
Do a good turn and a bad turn,
No, he's someone who, I mean, me and my business partner, Warcry Publishing, we like immensely. And, he's now... Do you know what with Richie? I said, Richie, there's no point in writing the best book in the world if you don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
So Richie's done a few books and they've been crackers. He's had an Amazon bestseller himself.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like to tell people, and he likes to kind of stay in the background.
He's never been one for being like, how can I explain, big-headed. He's never been like that. Yeah. Never. I've known him a long time. He's like me. He'd rather take a back seat.
Yeah. But he's writing a book at the minute about a spiritual guy or something. But he's done well to turn his life around because once upon a time
it could have went wrong though the way it was going because he loved the fight, loved it.
Yeah, I mean, he was classed as just one of them fighting men, wasn't he? And I mean, you worked on the door with him, and I think you described him as being equal to, was it Frankie Tobin? As the best person you ever worked with? Was it?
There was three really good people I worked on the door with: Richie, Frankie Tobin, and let's have a think which one. Keno, yeah, Andrew Keenan.
Yeah,
but he's a very, very good friend of mine, Andrew.
Because when you're in that game, Mick,
you've got to know you're
trusting, you're putting your life in the hands of another person.
Jim, I work with this big bodybuilder. He's a big lad. I only worked with him a couple of weeks, and I was working at a little pub called Images downstairs in the Grand Hotel, and the fight broke out on the dance floor. There was about 6 people fighting, so I ran over, sorting the fight out. I thought, where's he at? He was just stood there like that, with his arms out, showing his muscles off. And so I got them out. But he didn't take a foot forward to help me. And I went to the door, I said, what's happened, mate? I said, why in there? He said, oh, well, you're doing all right. I was watching you. I said, well, yeah. I got 10 and walked straight into you, fuck off. And I kept his wages. Yeah,
because you could have got a knife in the back, couldn't you?
I could have got a bottom of it, I didn't think, could I?
Yeah. I mean, Richie, what was he? As a doorman, hard but fair, or what?
Oh, yeah. I do that. Yeah. Just look at my face, I don't have to say anything. He was good. Yeah.
We like Richie Horsley.
Yeah. Do you know, I wasn't out one night and he thought this bus trip of lads from the college came down and they're chewing on. and the two the wrong person, Richie. I think there's about, I'm not exaggerating, about 28 on the bus. There might have been more, but at least 28. He went outside them and he could give as good as he got till they overpowered him, you know what I mean? And he ate
really? Was stood on by himself as well?
He ate quite a few of them before they got him, before they got to him. Yeah, by himself, yeah. There's nobody joined in to help him. Nobody. I was ashamed of the doorman and I could, because we're all doormen together. Stood and watched, didn't help him. But they've got to live with that, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know, I was talking to Richie about that. He said, do you know, like, Jamie, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
He said, just trust you. And he said, just get the story off Mick. I think I put it in the book.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's someone who I know I can trust. And he's one of the first people I ring if I want to, you know.
He's a good lad.
And
he'll never steer you wrong, you know, never.
No, he's an absolute diamond. He supports He supports Leeds. I hope Leeds go down. Yeah. Richie, if you're listening, he's fanatical about Leeds United.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and because obviously the lads at War Cry Publishing are a big Leeds fan, and I hope Leeds go down just because Celtic were getting beat last year.
Do you know Algie was doing a book with us?
Yeah.
That man, he could have a fight. Never been beat in his life.
Yeah, but he was a law-abiding citizen, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he used to love to have a fight on the weekend when he's out to drink. Loved it.
What is it if you Hartlepool folk?
I don't know. I think the drink's too strong for us. Yeah.
But
3 bottles of Budweiser aren't anybody's.
And you don't really drink now, Mick, do you?
No, I've had a pint.
What's your passions in life now then?
I like to go for a meal, and I love to spend time with my grandkids.
When they're not beating you up.
Yeah, there's only 10, does it?
Yeah. Hospitalised you this week. That's funny, isn't it? So if anyone's watching this, Mick Sorby is obsessed with Love Island and hospitalised this week by a 3-year-old with a hammer. That's Hartlepool. You start young, don't you?
Well, listen, people, don't forget. I'll try to set about yours if you show me. Yeah.
And Hartlepool Born and Bred 2 is going to be coming very, very soon.
Yes.
It's obviously the first book, Mick, it just covered your life. It was very sad. You know, it's a tale of kind of what you've had, but what you've made good with the card you were dealt with by God.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of that chapter there with the input about your dad and that's probably one of the strongest chapters I've ever written.
Well, that would have either made or break me, that wouldn't it?
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know, did I tell you about the train?
You did,
Yeah.
and
I forgot to tell you to put in the book.
No, it's in the second book.
Is it?
Yeah, you can tell me if you want now.
Well, what happened, right? I was about...
Because you asked Pat's permission to put it in. Do you remember?
Yeah. 12, 14, something like that.
I mean, my son's that age now.
Yeah.
So that's fucking horrific to listen to.
I was just wondering about, like, around the railway line. I had a little dog with me, rabbit, and that's what I was doing. And you know, things in the air, I was thinking to myself, I'm fucking sick of this life with him. I hate the bastard. And I just walked along the railway line. I had the train. It was miles away from me, like, but I had it. And I just stood with my back door and I thought, just let it take me. I've fucking had enough of this life with him. Last minute, but I'm saying the last minute, it was well away from me. I just got a line. Not like as if it was bush going past me, you know what I mean? It was a couple of minutes before it got to me. And I just
do you know that's the kind of thing, Mick, that like films are made of? Yeah. That's really hard hitting and powerful and like thought provoking. I think, hang on a minute, my son's 14 now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That I'd probably kill myself if my son thought of doing that.
My kids thought bad like that, thinking about my dad. Oh, I couldn't live with it.
But you know, it's like, and I'm not making excuses.
You know, that's when I thought to myself, Jim, I thought, he's not winning.
Yeah. You know, in the greatest respect, it's like, you know, listen, you've only got to look at the upbringing Paul Sykes had, and even Lee Duffy, because society was very different.
Yeah, I'm not the only one, Jamie, who's had a life like that. There's loads of people.
But you know, it's like fucking how I've got to swear to kind of describe that. You know, how could someone be like that?
Just the way he was. You know, it wasn't just me. He used to bash my mum all the time. He just, I don't know, just the way he was. He's not, you know, was he? So.
Yeah, do you know what? Just to finish it, wherever he is now, Mick, he'll be getting judged on now.
Yeah. Do you know when he died, you know? I didn't want to go to the funeral, but he was to get out of prison for me, so I went.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the only reason.
Yeah.
And I never shed a tear over him. Never.
And that's, you know, that's quite a powerful statement you just made there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're in prison.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, Hartlepool Born and Bred 2 is going to be coming soon. And as I said, it's not really your life. It's lots of ins and outs, bits of stories, bits of humour.
If anybody who's listening, please buy it because it's funny.
Yeah, honestly, if there's anyone who has any connection with Hartlepool, or you live in there, or you live on the outskirts, it's an absolute must. Yeah. I should know. I've written it, but I'm not biased.
Yeah. No, but Jimmy, you're doing a hell of a job on that first book.
Well, do you know what? Let's see how far we go.
Yeah.
Because Mick, I've got work probably 2 years in front of me. But for people like you, for people like Alex Reid, who I'm with this week,
you think he might have come through?
No, I'm a fully fuck. No, he's listen. What was I going to say? Do you know, for people like you though, I'll always make time. So I don't even count you as work. Jamie, do you know what I mean? You're not even work. You're man. Yeah. So people like Paul Venice and that. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Of course, if you work yourself, Alex had to fetch Ted through.
Oh, do you know what? Bring Ted through and put it on him. Bring Ted in his hammer and put it on Alex Reid.
What can you do with this?
Yeah. Listen, Alex Reid had 300 fights worldwide, fought all over the world. But listen, he's never had a Palmo as well, hasn't he?
Oh, lucky on one of them.
So we'll. But on Saturday, you're going to be our guests at Paul Venice, Danny Christie as well. Yeah. You haven't met Paul yet, have you?
No. I haven't met Danny Christie either.
Yeah. You know the story though, don't you?
Yeah, I followed it, yeah.
I mean, what's it like these days, Mick, when you kind of follow all that nonsense and people are doing stories left, right and centre? And...
You know, when you see them, see what they're saying, you can read in them what they are, whether the bullshitters, like some of them are, and some, do you know what I mean? Some of them aren't.
Yeah. Do you know what? I mean, could you ever visualise you now saying, Pat, pass my phone, I'm doing a video? No. You'd rather...
I know to get some money.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's when you watch some of certain people doing that these days in Teesside, it's like I fully get the concept of why the Jeremy Kyle show was as successful as it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jeremy Kyle, it's been up to tell you while now, huh?
Yeah.
It's gone
but you know what? It's like it's never been away with some of the nonsense back and forth and some of the lies. But you know what, mate?
You know, on YouTube videos, you know, there's not many people genuine.
No.
Honestly, there's not. Yeah.
No, and do you know what? There's a saying, never let anyone pollute your mind. And I'm very careful for what I watch. I watch Paul Venice, Alex Reid, Making Gains is one. But you know what? It's back and forth. And can you imagine in your day with some of the people you've worked with and your Dave Garsides and all this and doing this back and they'd rather bloody die, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they wouldn't show themselves up like that.
People making police statements.
They wouldn't embarrass themselves like that. Yeah.
But listen, nothing queer as folk, is it?
No.
And listen, you know, it's just like I was telling Alex Reid, and obviously I get a lot of crap. He said, you know what, Jamie? He said, you know who he is. He's 4, and, you know, big guy. And he's had people driving past shouting, and he could go over and squash them like a fly. But the reason he doesn't, there's thousands of them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
once you've done that to one, you get more jumping on a bandwagon. You get charged.
And that's why people say to me, why are you quiet when people do videos on you? And do you know what? My silence is, you know, listen, you're aware of the bullshit got said. Yeah. Some of the stuff that's been said about me over the years, well, where's it happened? Where's all these court cases? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like none of it's happened.
Well, Jimmy, you're doing the right thing. You're not, the people who are doing that, you're not fetching yourself down to their level, are you?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And, you know, you could go on, and you're seeing it now. He's doing a video, then he does it, then he does it. None of that brings you money. I'll tell you what it brings. £2.17 per 1,000 views. Oh. That's what it brings, right? That's the economy, unless you're a big one like Sean Atwood, and then you get the higher level, and you get you get £3.69. But Sean's a good guy. Sean's a diamond.
It's not a fortune, is it?
You tell you what, Sean's at the weekend, so you'll meet him as well. You met him, you'll be doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get you a part 2. But Mick, always a pleasure, mate.
Yeah.
And you keep avoiding them hammers off toddlers.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to duck at my age.
Years ago, it would have been a proper hammer, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
But anyone who wants to get in touch with Mick, there's a page on Hartlepool, Facebook called Hartlepool Born and Bred Books. So if you give him an inbox, he'll reply to you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
An absolute pleasure. Always a pleasure speaking to you, Mick.
Thank you, Jamie.